Have you ever felt?
Are you listening? Damn.
All right, Cheech here with Fly Fish Food, and we have a pretty cool little Baetis nymph we're going to show you today, or blue-winged olive, or whatever you call them in your part of the country. Basically, this is just a good all-around mayfly nymph. One of our good buddies, Michael Faulkinbury, started buying Nature Spirit speckled moose body hair from us quite a bit. And he was showing me what he was doing with these flies, and I got his permission to do this. But it's a very, very simple fly, but you know, when you see this, you'll see why it's so effective. But he calls it the M3, the moose main morsel. But now that it's made out of moose body, maybe we'll call it Mike's moose morsel or something like that. But it's the M3 nymph. I've got a Daiichi 1560 size 16 just for demonstration purposes, but this is easily tied down in the 20s. I did also some bigger mayflies, so it's a pretty versatile fly as far as sizes. And I'm going to dress my hook with Uni A dot, and this is olive done. So I'm going to take my thread all the way to about where it starts to curve, and that's where I'll tie in my tail. Okay, so what I've done is I've taken roughly a dozen fibers and I've put them in a hair stacker. Okay, so I've got these fibers out of the stacker, and this tail's going to be fairly short. And you got to be precise with your tie-in here, because you're going to use this clump for the body as well. So that's pretty good right there. And I'm going to want to really tighten that down, because as I wrap the body forward, I don't want the tail to spin very much. So maybe even one more wrap, and then some snug wraps right butting up to that. Okay, so that's our tail for the fly. Now I'm going to create just a little bit of a taper. And it's not critical that your thread lays completely smooth right now. So just about like that's fine. Now this moose is pretty brittle, so there are a couple ways that you can strengthen this. And I found that we're going to do two things. We're going to put a little bit of super glue on, just some brushable Zap-A-Gap on there. So just a little bit of super glue, and then we'll put some resin on the top of it once we're done. Okay, so once we have that glued, we're just going to take all these fibers and we're going to wrap those forward. And I'm going to go all the way up to right behind the eye. So you can see how that makes kind of a natural looking quill body-ish type thing. Then I'm going to take my thread back to about the 2/3 point and pull those back, because this is going to be our wing case. So far that's our body. And this is an olive fly. I've been using the gray olive snowshoe rabbit foot dubbing from Nature Spirit on this one. And then I also use the natural color quite a bit with this olive. And the cool thing about this moose, the speckled body hair, is it comes in a bunch of different colors. So we've got it in, I think, bleached, medium dune's another favorite, and natural, stuff like that. So I'm already done with that thorax. Just a little bit of dubbing will do. I've left a healthy tie-in point right there behind that eye. So now I'm just going to pull this over, and once I have it pulled over, I'm going to kind of wiggle it back and forth, and that will spread out that wing case on top of the thorax. So once I have it tied down, I'll just trim that off and create a little bit of a head. It's a little bit messy up there, but that's fine. Now you could fish this just like this if you wanted, but the wing case especially wouldn't last you very long. Before I put the resin on, I'm going to pick out some of the dubbing from the thorax. Just a little bit. Just like that. And then I'm going to take the loon flow and just barely use hardly any on this. I'm going to work it all in, all around the body, keep it from getting in that thorax. And I'll cure it. And as you can see, you can barely see any on the top of the fly, on the wing case, because it just kind of soaked in there. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some fluorescing resin and put it on just the wing case. Right there. So anyway, it's a super good pattern. Mike's a really good trout fisherman. He lives in Arizona, so he's got to make the most of it when he goes out for trips. But I can see why he has a whole bunch of these in his box, because it's just a killer nymph. Thanks, Mike, for letting us show your pattern.